What's up, YouTube world? It is your boy Halucha Lucha, aka Matthew J. Brownlee, and I'm back with another Smack Talk, Smackdown review, thingamajigger, my bobber, thingamajigger, a thinger. This is, like I say, not really a review, not really a breakdown. I only do that to pay-per-views, so Smackdown and Raw are having a pay-per-view. We call that the WWE. This Sunday. It's called Survivor Series, so I will be breaking down Survivor Series. But this is, not a review because if you want reviews, there's a whole bunch of reviews on the internet. I'm just here giving my own opinion on the show about what I liked and what I didn't like and all the good stuff, and I just talk about it. I ain't gonna hold you. I kind of was like 13 minutes into this, and then my space ran out, and I guess what I could have did was I could have just continued, but I deleted it on accident. So yeah, we're gonna do this all again. So everything I said, I'm gonna say it again. Yay! Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we're going to get into this. Um, SmackDown overall was a good show. I'm trying to find ways to like condense what I said because I kind of don't want to say it again. Um, just gonna okay. So Survivor Series, Raw, SmackDown, head to head type competition. Every year they do this expect spectacular type of shenanigans where Raw and SmackDown debate each other, and it's brand supremacy, brand warfare, and all the good stuff. But they didn't do that this time. This time around, and I didn't mind it, and I didn't mind it because for two reasons I didn't mind it. First reason was because there's not really a crowd. Um, WWE bases a lot of their stuff on fan participations in the crowd. They feed off the energy from the crowd. So if something big would have happened, like say um, uh, Asuka coming to SmackDown, or Sasha going to Raw, or New Day going to SmackDown, or King Corbin coming to Raw, or Hurt Business coming to SmackDown, whatever it is. Um, there's really no crowd interaction for them to be like, oh my God, whatchamacallit, he's on Raw, he's on SmackDown, what is he doing here? He's coming to confront, blah, 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 blah. Like, so, like, as big of a surprise or OMG moment that would have been, I don't think it would have made really that much of a difference because there's really no crowd there and they pipe in their noises anyway right now. So if there was a live crowd, I would say, yeah, have Hurt Business go to SmackDown to beat up Sami Zayn. Yeah, have Team SmackDown beat up Team Raw because they're not in it right now. They're not ready for this smoke or whatever like that. So the minimum Raw superstars that went on SmackDown, I think is good enough because okay, you can have all the surprises on Raw or SmackDown, but there's no going to be no crowd reacting to it. Why bother? You know what I'm saying? So that was the first reason. The second reason is a lot of these superstars were just on each other's brand like a month ago before they did the draft. Like New Day was literally just on SmackDown. AJ Styles was just on SmackDown. Braun Strowman was just on SmackDown. Street Profits just on Raw. Kevin Owens just on Raw. Seth Rollins just on Raw. So this whole brand to brand thing where they were like, "Oh, he's evading our," it's like literally, he was literally just here. You were just here. So I don't think it would have made just as big as an impact as even if the crowd was there. Maybe if they would have did it at if they would have did this brand split at um, WrestleMania, you got April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So 7 months you did the switch. 7 months you did it, and no superstars been on Raw, no superstars been on SmackDown. Like you kept this. And then you had people who's like, oh my God, he was been here since whenever. Then it could be like, oh okay, cool, that's cool. But like literally like 3 weeks ago, you were defending the SmackDown championships on SmackDown and you switch them. Now you're on Raw, and so so I think it's okay for this year with no crowd, no fan interaction. The fact that literally just last month you guys were literally on opposite brands. I don't think it would make a difference now, but next year when maybe they have fans and stuff like that, they can get back to the surprises like, oh my god, what is he doing here? Oh my god, what is she doing there? Stuff like that. I think that would be better. So only people they had on the show was the champion, three champions. They had Drew McIntyre, they had Asuka, and they had the New Day, which is the three biggest stars I think in WWE anyway. Well, on Raw, and I guess you could say they're three of the biggest superstars in WWE. They're probably top five, top 10 in WWE. You got Drew McIntyre, Asuka, New Day, who is the biggest tag team in WWE. Roman Reigns, right under him is Drew. Right under them is Asuka. Probably right under them is New Day. So I think that's good for what they needed. Um, so I'm just going to talk about some of their stuff. Um, we're start with what do I want to start with? I don't even remember what I started with last time. Let's just start from the beginning. They had their segment with Street Profits, who were doing their thing that they used to do when they came up to the main rosters. They were pretty much breaking down the show. They're breaking down. I was like, well, this is going to happen this tonight, but Survivor Series is the big pay per view, and they're going to have Undertaker come back, and they're going to have the brand stuff. And then the lights come down. It was like somebody speaking Undertaker voice, and he comes back with a sombrero and this Big E. And it was like, why you got a sombrero? And he was just like, well, it's the only thing I had in the props. So he was like, well, this Sunday, you're going to get, and then it was like, yeah, we know we're going to beat the New Day. They can't handle the smoke, blah, 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 blah. And Big E was pretty much just like, well, they're going to beat the brakes off of you. You can't beat them. And you can tell them to their face how you feel because they're here. And then he did the, oh, center, don't you be be sour clap for your 10th time tag team champs and feel the power. And the New Day came out. They did this whole long segment. Well, they didn't do it, but they did do a segment. And then Sami Zayn came out, and then Baron Corbin came out, and then Roode and Ziggler came out, and then that made it like 15 minutes, which was still all decent stuff. Uh, Sammy and Corbin was saying that, hey, we're all good. We don't have problems with them. But if we would team together, we would beat Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, and New Day was trying to egg them on. And then Dolphin, of course, whatchamacface, Robert Roode beat up New Day, and then they tried to jump in, and the Street Profits came in. Of course, 8-man tag team match, which was good. Of course, the tag team champions, they have egos, so it's like, because they know we're gonna beat you, and every time they would do something good, they would be like, of course, we're better than you. Watch and learn. And then every time they would get hit or something would happen to them, the other team would be like, oh, look, what's going on with your partner over there? He's getting beat up and stuff like that. So that was good stuff. Uh, Miscommunications from the Street Profits and New Day, of course. Uh, that was good stuff. And then in the end, Xavier Woods was about to get in, and then not Ford, the other one, Dawkins slapped him really hard on his like back to tag in. Um, Extra stuff happened. Uh, Robert Roode slapped Sami Zayn hard. He hits him with like the sky high type thing. Tackles in Montez Ford, jumps from 9,000 feet in the air. Cash out, 1, 2, 3. Of course, the champions win. And, they're at the end, they're raising each other's hands and each other's titles. Well, they're not raising each other's hands, they're doing the titles in the air and stuff like that. It was long, but that half hour to them, I respect it. It was good enough. It was good enough to set the tone between them. Nothing really for the men's team or for the Intercontinental U.S. title team. Even though Sammy did keep mentioning that he didn't want to be part of anything because he has a big match with Bobby Lashley, and I'm pretty sure when he loses to Bobby Lashley, his excuse was going to be, "I tried to prepare, but then I got thrown in this 8-man tag team match for no reason, and I got I wasn't even supposed to be legally in, and he's gonna have this big excuse. So that's gonna be good stuff. Speaking of the elimination men's Survivor Series match and women's for that matter, um, Otis was named the fifth man. Natalia was like, "Why am I not? Why am I not chosen?" And Adam Pearce was like, "Well, I was supposed to choose one guy and one girl, so I chose Otis for the guys. For the girls, I chose one who's like a really good champion who was championship material, Bailey, which makes sense. So, and he was like, so you instead are gonna have to match with Tamina." And she goes like, "Do you know who I am?" He was like, "Well, I know you got a match right now." It was so great. Scrap Iron's the best. So Natalia wins, of course, and it's going to be Bailey, who thinks that she's the champion, so that's going to bite them in the ass. Um, Bianca Belair, who I love, she was out here looking like Aaliyah, which is great. Riots and Natalia. Natalia was over the moon happy. They're gonna lose. I hope at least Bianca is gonna eliminate three people um, from the match, and then something fishy happens. Probably with Bailey to start a feud with her and Bailey because that's gonna be great stuff. And than the stuff that they're going to do with Lana. I just want Bianca Belair to get a whole bunch of eliminations before that team loses to Lana because that's what's going to happen. Unfortunately, it is, but it is what it is. Um, Also with the women's, which is Asuka and Sasha, they had a thing, they had a thing that, uh, yep, they did a thing. I love Asuka. She speaking over Sasha. Sasha was like, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, I'm gonna beat you and stuff like that. So that was a whole thing. It wasn't bad. It just seemed like Asuka's so like really unpredictable with like her talking and stuff because she is Japanese. So like she just like says stuff and like she's trying to listen and she's just being very animated and Sasha trying to bounce back off of her is just like it was like really weird. But I liked it. It was pretty dope. And then of course for the third time Carmella comes out. And it was kind of funny because Sasha was pretty much like, "Yeah, so I'm prepared to beat you. I'm prepared because I'm the best on SmackDown or whatever like that." And then Carmella comes out of nowhere, clips her on her leg. She wasn't being prepared, and she like hangs her leg and she super kicks her. And the whole time, Asuka was just staring at Sasha. She was like, "Yeah, yep, you're the best. You're the best." Getting mollywopped by Carmella. The best. Yep, the best. So I thought that was pretty decent. Unfortunately, like it was not as good, but it was decent enough. At least they did something. They tried. They did try. Um, I like I like the fact that we're probably gonna get Bryan versus Sammy. That's gonna be good stuff. I'm gonna enjoy that. Maybe Corbin's gonna get in the mix. Maybe Daniel Bryan's gonna get in that mix. Maybe Jey Uso's gonna get in that mix too because it seems like him and Bryan are not gonna be done after tonight. Seems like they won't be done with their beef. Um, I did like um, Murphy versus Seth. I thought that Seth his little promo was good. I thought Murphy was gonna have one too, but instead they just had a whole um, their track record of how he was his disciple and now he's not. The match is good, of course. It's Seth Rollins and it's Murphy. It's good stuff every time they come together. And Murphy got a W. Uh, yeah, Seth Rollins is like lost last week. He's losing this week. He's probably gonna lose the Survivor Series, and maybe because I know that Becky Lynch is probably close to maybe having baby. So either Sunday or Friday or the next pay per view. He might maybe have one more match with Murphy, like one clean match without the Mysterios being there or trying to get involved because they did try to get involved. And Seth just murdered everybody over there. He beat up everybody. But it was pretty much a clean win for Murphy, even after he beat up Dominic and Rey Mysterio on the end. They didn't do anything. They didn't get involved. They didn't touch anybody. Seth even gave a stomp to Murphy, who got his foot on the rope. He gave him a buckle bomb. I think he was about to give another stomp. Well, he hit his V trigger, and then he tried to give another stomp, and he moved. He hit another V trigger, and then followed it up with the Murphy's Law for the clean win. And I like it. And so this is probably going to mess with Seth's head, and it's probably going to cost them the SmackDown thing, and he's probably going to blame Murphy, and they're probably going to have one more match without the Mysterios. Hopefully, Murphy gets another W, then let Seth do his thing and put Murphy in that Intercontinental title picture. I would love to see him in that picture with Daniel Bryan, with Sami Zayn, with Corbin, with Big E. I don't know what they're gonna do with Roman Reigns though after he his match. I don't know what they're gonna do with him, but maybe Kevin Owens will get in there. But yeah, that was good stuff. The match was fantastic. I think this match and the main event was really good. Was pretty good stuff, and the tag team match was good stuff too. Yeah, the whole show was good. It was just as always they're trying to build to a Survivor Series, which the build hasn't been the best because WWE has a thing with building shows being very bad. They Hell in a Cell they built it was really bad. The build was bad, but the show was good. Money in the Bank build was bad, show was pretty decent. So I think this is going to be another one where the build has been not the best, but the show itself will be really good. Um, and does that lead to the main event? Of course, was Jay versus Daniel Bryan. Jay was talking about him believing that what Jimmy or Jay did was not personal. He was talking about the devil that's on his shoulder, being Roman Reigns, telling him what to do, and he just pretty much was like, "Well, yeah, I understand all of that, but how do you think I felt when I was left in the hospital? How my daughter was crying, um, seeing me in this much pain and stuff like that. So, what I'm going to do to you tonight, you know, don't worry about it. Oos, it won't be it's not going to be personal when I beat you up." And Jay was pretty much like, "Oh, it's not going to be personal." It's like, "Look, I told you we're friends, but it was not personal. You think what you're gonna do to me is gonna you're gonna beat me? Is it gonna be personal? No, it won't be personal." Uh, Kayla's trying to lay jokes on Jay. He was like, "Ha, very funny, but it won't be funny when I take out Brian again." And the match was good. It got going towards the end. The beginning, it was like they Brian adapts to whoever he's facing. With Jay, he's more of like a strike brawler type thing. He's not really technical or any of that. So he goes with he bounces off of Jay. So Jay got a lot of offense in there, and Brian sold for him very well. He gave him a back body drop on the announce table. He gave him a lot of kicks to the face. There wasn't nothing flashy in here. It was just hard hitting, and sometimes hard hitting is not bad. And Jay wins, or Jay didn't win. Jay was going to win when he went to the top rope. Bryan put his knees up and got a roll up win, and Daniel Bryan wins. I think that's a great. I think that was the best decision uh, for them. That was a really good decision for him. It gives Jay his he lost, but it wasn't anything like he didn't get beat up. It was just like he got caught with the roll up. It gives Daniel Bryan his win back, to which he deserves to win because he's Daniel Bryan. And it maybe sets up another thing with Jay. Maybe he goes against Sami Zayn. Maybe he goes straight to Rumble. It's like, hey, I beat your man's, me and you 1-on-1, something like that. So there's a lot of different options with um with Daniel Bryan. But we got to talk about the real main event, which was the Drew versus uh, Roman contract signing. This whole thing, no mic, just them talking face to face with each other, 1-on-1 with each other, just regular casual talk. And this was the most intense talk I've ever seen from a contract signing. I was like, wow, this is good. This is probably the best, even with the matches and in the wrestling. This was probably the best thing on the show. Just the two champ from Roman Reigns, of course, taking his time to come out the ring. Scrap Iron is about to sit down at the top, and then Roman just looks at him, and Scrap Iron looks up, and like he moves, and he stands over there, and then Roman sits at the top, and then Drew's just looking at him, he's just smirking at him, and then he's like, okay, now you can sit down. And well, he was he's trying to talk to him about the contract sign, and Roman's just like, you can sit down, don't talk. And then they're going face to face. Roman was like, I knew you can do it. He said, Paul, he was a little shaky. He didn't think you could do it, but I knew you can do it. You know why I knew you could do it? Because you're the second best. He was saying how like he's the second best. He's saying how he knows how hungry he is and stuff like that. He was like because he used to be in that position, used to try to always prove people wrong. Uh, and he's like, Paul told me one thing, taught me one thing. He was like, you're the right guy at the right time, or the right guy, the right place at the wrong time, which is what Paul said to Roman when Brock Lesnar was like at the top, when he was at the top and he was on his game. And he was pretty much saying that same thing to Drew. Was like, look, you're great. You're second best to me, but you're good. He's like, you're the guy who's there when like when I don't want to be there. It was like, hey, it was like Roman doesn't want to do it. All right, hey, just give it to Drew. He'll do anything. He's like, yeah, that's who you are, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the guy that you are. You're the guy who is second to me, but you know when I'm done and I teach you this lesson, when I'm done being the best, this is when you can take over when I'm gone. So he's like, I like you. He's like, I like you. You're a good guy, but you just, secondary to the champ. So that was great stuff. Drew McIntyre was talking about is like, you trying to just play mind games with me. He's like, I'm not here for the mind games. You told me, hey, you said, get you a title, and then we talk. I beat Randy Orton, got my title. They told me to come here, do my contract signing, and that's what I'm going to do. You want me to hit you in the face? You want me to beat you up? I'm not going to do that. That's why my match for Sunday is what I'm going to do to you. And then he was about to give him his contract signing, and he was like, "One more thing. I here's a lesson. I dare you to underestimate me. I dare you to. I want you to underestimate me so I can beat you senseless." And he gives it back to him. And he's about to start. He's like, "You gonna teach me a lesson? Like, who do you think you are? No, I am the chief. I'm the head of the table. I am number one. I'm gonna teach you a lesson." And the lesson was, no matter how good you are, you will always be. Oh my God, he said that you'll understand when I'm gone, when you're in this position that I'm in, you're gonna thank me, and you're gonna say I love you to me, and it's gonna be all love because I'm gonna love you too. I'm always gonna be the one to say I always love you back. He's like, you're gonna be. He said you will always be my favorite number two. He said his favorite number two. I was like, oh, that's you got him a number two, but he's the favorite number two, so I guess that's good. It's better to be the favorite number two than the worst number one, I guess. So that was fantastic. I loved everything about that. Nothing physical. Them just one on one, just talking. Paul Heyman was just chilling on the side. Scrap Ryan was minding his business. That was fantastic. I loved everything about that. If you don't watch anything from SmackDown, just watch that segment. Just watch that contract signing. Oh, it was so good. He called him his favorite number two. I was like, oh, that's tough. And then he just walks. He stands like that. Paul Heyman. Oh, my favorite part though was Paul Heyman. Roman's about to sign a contract. Paul Heyman takes that pen, the pen that Drew touched because it's the number two pen, of course, he puts it in his pocket. He gives him a fresh pen, hands it to Roman to sign, and Drew just looks at him and says, "Bitch." Just looks at him quick as bitch, and then he just kept going. That was hilarious. Just him calling Paul a bitch for doing that was fun, was one of the funniest things ever. Just quiet bitch, hilarious. I loved it. That was fantastic. I enjoyed it overall. A good enough go home show for SmackDown. Um, Street Profits, honestly, Street Profits and New Day and Drew and Roman are the two matches I'm most excited for. As always, I you always think that the New Day, as good as they are, will always steal the show, and they're gonna have the best match on the show, and then somehow like the match, like the next couple matches after, either Asuka or Sasha or Roman or Drew is just gonna blow it out the water. But those are the two anticipated matches I'm ready for. New Day makes everybody better. Street Profits are already great. Um, Asuka versus Sasha is going to be fantastic. Their matches has always been fantastic, so I don't see this one not being fantastic. Roman versus Drew is going to be is going to be a masterpiece. Um, the men's and women's Survivor Series matches, it's going to be alright. It's going to be it'll probably be fine. Um, I don't yeah, I don't really understand. I don't see who's going to win. They're not the matches that I'm really excited for. I'm just excited to hope Bianca Belair is going to do great. That's all I care for. And I'm sure that Bobby Lashley and Sami's going to be fine, but Bobby Lashley is going to murder Sami Zayn. So that'll be that. That's about it. Overall, I'll give SmackDown a B plus. It was decent stuff. The matches they had in there was good. The Drew versus Roman thing was really that thing was fantastic. Everything else was there. Oh yeah, and Seth versus Buddy was fantastic. Great win for Buddy Murphy. Give him titles. That's it for now. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. I'm out.